Hello, my name is Xander from Terrytown, and welcome to your Jayco 40 RLTS. I'm going to be just starting off right up front here with your little crank. Pretty self-explanatory. Just crank it up or down, and this is going to move up and down to help with leveling and stuff like that. Moving to your propane tanks, you're going to have your little supply switch here for your regulator. So whichever way you flip this is then going to be the propane tank that you use. So supply pointing this way, it's going to be using this tank. Supply that way, it's going to be using that tank. And you have your battery snuck kind of under there. And then moving on, you're going to have your pass-through storage. Actually, it's not pass-through, it's just very deep. But you're going to have a crank for your stabilizer jacks here. And then you also have a 50 to 30 amp adapter, a 30 to 110, a 25-foot drinking hose. And you also have a sewer hose as well, which I do recommend getting a better one. I don't know if you already do have one or not, but I do highly recommend getting one. Moving on, you're gonna have a little outside shower here. All it is just a hot, cold side of the lines, and then your shower head and hose all inside here. It's gonna look pretty similar to the shower inside, but of course, outside. City water connection, so in the campground you're staying at, this is going to be your main water source. So when you plug that hose right inside of there, that is then going to feed water directly to your lines. This is your black tank flush. I'm going to go over that in just one moment. But down here you're going to have your sewer connection, so all the way down there. Here's going to be one of your poles, which is going to be a black tank, and then all the way over here is going to be a gray tank pole. So the black tank is going to be, of course, your black tank. So that's going to conclude your toilet and stuff like that. So that's going to help drain all of your toilet paper and basically just your toilet bowl. This in here is going to be your gray tank. So your gray tank is going to be for showers and sinks and stuff like that. So when you do go to empty it, you just grab the handle and pull it, and of course it's going to drain. But since the black tank is your toilet, it's going to have toilet paper and stuff like that getting stuck on the way out. So to prevent that, when you open that up, of course it's going to drain out and everything like that. Leave that tank open and put a pressurized hose into this here. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's a black tank flush. It flushes out your black tank to help any toilet paper or any poop, anything like that. It helps kind of flush it out so your tanks are clean and your sensors and everything can actually read. But other than that, I recommend doing the black tank first and the gray tank last, just because the gray is going to be the cleanest water out of the two. So it kind of helps flush your sewer hose out. So when you do go to put your hands back on there to take your sewer hose off, it kind of gives it that little last flush. Otherwise, while I'm taking this down, this is going to be your furnace exhaust. So all the extra heat from the furnace is going to be kicking out of here. So I do recommend keeping children and little pets or anything like that away from there, just as a little safety concern. Otherwise, this is going to be your water heater. Looks pretty complicated, but in reality it's not. You just take this little cap, put it on the spout, but make sure it's on nice and tight. I'm just gonna kind of set it on there more for a visual than anything. Just go ahead and tighten that down. Then when that's nice and tight, go to the inside of your camper and turn on the hot side of the faucet. It's going to then start to fill this up with water, so it's gonna sit there and sputter for a little bit, but that's just all the air getting completely pushed out of your tank. So once you have a steady flow of water and this is on nice and tight, then you can go ahead and turn this on and use it and do what you need to do. When it comes time to empty it, you just go ahead, pull this pressure release valve here. It's going to hiss, releasing all the pressure and everything like that. And then once it's done hissing, you can go ahead and let go, and then pop this back off, and then that is then going to spew all the water out of here and empty your water heater. And then one last little thing down here, it's gonna be kind of hard to see. I don't know how to. So right there, it's going to be your hot and cold low point drains. So when it's time to, empty out all of your lines, you can go ahead, twist those two, and that is then going to, of course, release the water from the two lowest points in both your hot and cold side of the lines. Moving back here is going to be a cable and satellite input. So for better channels and stuff like that, you just go ahead and put your cable cord right inside of there, and that is going to feed to the inside of your camper. Here's your 50 amp service cord. So this is gonna be your shore power. So when, of course, you get your campground or camp spot, this is going to then plug into your shore. Right back here is going to be your fresh tank. So if this is out somewhere where you don't have water all the time or city water connection, you can go ahead and fill this up. This is going to just be a really big tank that's just underneath your trailer. So it's just more of like a water reservoir than anything. So once again, the tank is going to fill up, and then to access that water, you need to turn on your water pump. So like I mentioned before, if there's no city water connection, you just fill this up and then turn on your water pump, and that pump is going to draw from this tank and push water through your lines to give you running water while you're not hooked up to city water. Otherwise, the drain for that is going to be right here. You just twist that little knob, and that is going to drain out the rest of your fresh tank there. Otherwise, pretty much the only last two things on here is going to be your little 110 outlets here, there, and then over there. So, of course, power outlets. So for anything you need outside, that is going to be for that. Otherwise, right here, grip onto the bar, pull out, and fold down. Your stats will unfold. Moving to the inside, I'm going to go off your main power panel here. Starting up top, you're going to have your battery reader, fresh tank reader, black tank, and gray tank reader. So it just tells you how full they are getting, so you know when to empty them. Your water pump, like I was talking about, so if you do need to use that fresh tank, you just flip that switch, and that is going to then draw water from your fresh tank and push it through your lines. You're going to have two elements to your water heater here, gas and electric. So of course, I recommend just doing electric if you are plugged into shore power, because it's not going to take anything else. Unless you decide to use your gas as well, that's perfectly fine. It depends all on kind of if you want to use propane or not, but that's a personal preference. Always just have little lights here, and then slide room out. Other side room out. So once you get a gear grinding noise, you will know you are fully extended. I'm going to move your awning in and out. Of course, you just hold in and out here. Your awning isn't going to move. I'm going to do that real quick. So the only unfortunate thing for your awning is that you do have to manually stop it. It's not going to stop on its own. So I will show you when to stop it. It's going to be when the excess flap or the end of the awning kind of comes down, just like that. And then once you see that black bar, it's kind of stuck right now. You can kind of see the black bar start to appear on the back or on the underside of it. That's when you know you're fully extended, and you can go ahead and reel it back in. You do not want to keep reeling it out, because when you do that, it'll actually reel in the opposite way and end up breaking. Just takes a very long time. There we go. So that is it for the little power panel. Just down here, it's gonna be a little cleaning system, so not really a whole lot to it. But other than that, just underneath that is going to be your breakers and fuses. The only really thing I recommend about this is bringing some extra fuses with you, just as a safety feature. It's more of a personal preference, so if you want to, feel free. If not, don't worry about it. But if you do decide to pick some up, go ahead and You can pick those up at like an AutoZone or an auto parts store. And then just over here, it's going to be your thermostat. So you just click through, you got your fan settings, your cool settings, and your furnace, which is of course your heat, and then cool is gonna be your AC. Otherwise, you just choose whichever one you want, and then go ahead and choose the temperature up and down there. So this little switch here is going to lead to your fan, so you can see how that's turned on. Otherwise, that's going to turn off. For the inside of your bathroom, there's not a whole lot to this one. You just have a little fan on and vent open for your vent up there. And then for your toilet, you're gonna wanna make sure of 3 things. 1, you know it's a foot flush, so you just press down with your foot and it's going to flush. RV grade toilet paper, just to help break down easier, make sure everything flows nice and easy. And then you're also gonna want our toilet solution. That toilet solution is gonna help break down solids and smells. So once again, everything flows nice and easy, breaks down how it's supposed to, and once again, makes the whole process a lot easier. Then back here for your bedroom. Over here on the wall, it's going to be the slide room. So remove transit bar before operating bedroom slide out. So you will have a transit bar, but it's not in right now. You just hold out. Once again, once you hear the gear grinding noise, you know you're fully extended. Of course, you're gonna have your lights inside of here. And then this little switch is gonna be for that fan. Then you're gonna have another thermostat for back here. Same buttons as up front, you just keep tapping. It's gonna have your fan settings, your cool, and then of course your furnace. So I'm just gonna reel this back in. There's not a whole lot else to your bedroom. Moving on, you have another vent fan switch for this one up here. And then moving on, you're going to access your fridge right up there. You just click set. The higher the number, the colder it gets. And then for your freezer, in the back, the farther right it goes, the colder it gets. Of course, your, why can't I think of the name? Microwave. Right there, and then down here you're gonna have an oven light and then the knob lights here. So pretty self-explanatory. It's press in, turn to ignite, and of course when the gas is releasing, there's the flame will then up here. Other than that, for your oven, similar thing. Press in, turn to the pilot symbol. Once it ignites, then go ahead and turn to your adjusted temperature. Over here for your little space heater, this is going to run off of electric. Your furnace is going to run off of propane. You just tap there. All of your controls are going to be top right, so going from left to right. You have your power, you have different colored lights, dimness, and then your temperature, which you can control on the top right there. Let's see here, is there anything else that I'm missing? Your keys right here. So pretty much the silver ones are going to be for your main doors and your baggage doors, and then these little black ones are going to be for your outside shower. And then right down here is going to be your carbon monoxide detector. So that little green light is on, of course, to show that it is on. But other than that, it's never going to turn off as a safety feature. So when you do go to shut everything up and either move or whatever for the winter, I do recommend just taking the negative end off of your battery, so then this little piece finally dies, because otherwise it's going to be sucking off of your battery while you're not plugged into anything, and then your battery will eventually get drained. But other than that, that has really been a brief orientation about, like I said, There's not a whole lot to it. It's nice and easy, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me back and I can get those answers for you as soon as possible. But that has been your orientation. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy.